A very good evening and welcome to Eastwood Community Football Club for this Nottinghamshire FA Women's County Cup final between Nottingham Forest Ladies and Ollerton Town Ladies. It's going to be Nottingham Forest who get us started in their all gold this evening as the away side. Gold shirts, black shorts and gold socks. Ollerton Town in their white shirts, red shorts and red socks. It will be Forest to get us underway, going from left to right in this first half. And it will be Isabel Sullivan to get the game started. And we are underway here at Eastwood. Immediately Forest go to their right back position to Walters, 10 yards inside her own half on the right hand side. Plays it inside to Harkin, long ball forward which is charged down. It does though find Middleton just inside the Ollerton half, although they clear it back into the Forest half, and then there's a bit of head tennis in the centre of the field. Here come the home side again with White, over onto the left hand side this time. They go back towards halfway. Forest with a high press so far, trying to force Ollerton into a mistake. Here's Hamilton, one of the Ollerton Town defenders, over onto the right hand side. Back into the Forest half. Hewitt does well though to win possession back for Forest, although she loses it at the second attempt as the ball doesn't sit kindly for her. Here's Constantinu to Bennett. Bennett goes over to the right hand side to Middleton. Middleton tries to go back to Walters, but Walters just has to check a stride to being sure that she gets to the ball. Here's Harkin, infield to Bennett. Bennett tries to go forward towards Middleton, and that's a good ball forward, but it's just been cut out by Ollerton. Nothing more than a Forest throw-in. We've played a minute here at Eastwood. It's still Forest 0, Ollerton 0. Forest throw-in midway inside the Ollerton half on the right-hand side. Ball is thrown down the line into the corner of the pitch, blocked from view here from my commentary position, level with the edge of the penalty area that Forest are defending in this first half. And it's out for a goal kick, which Appleby will take in all black this evening on the left hand side of her 6-yard box. As she looks up to the field, it comes midway inside the Ollerton half. Bennett fixed it forward, and the home side for this fixture play the ball forward once more. It's headed up in the air by Harkin from the long ball forward. Grace Walters swings the right boot at it. It goes straight up into the air. Forest unable to get this ball down and under control at the minute as Harkin heads it forward again. And eventually the ball runs in towards the Forest penalty area. It's cleared away by Emily Hallam and headed out of play in the centre of the field by Ollerton. I'll give you the two teams when I get a moment. Forest have Emily Hallam in goal, Lindsay Harkin, Grace Walters, Jordan Reek, Shannon Weston, Helena Constantinu, Katie Middleton, Isabel Sullivan, Georgia Hewitt, Amy Higginbotham and Shanna Bennett as their starting 11 this evening. Haven't actually got a team sheet for Ollerton which includes first names. Ollerton have Appleby in goal, Hamilton, Howard, Thornton, Davis, Howard, Cox, White, Bell, Barnes and Stretton. As Ollerton are pegged back to the edge of their own penalty area, the clearance only finds Shannon Weston. Weston clears it right-footed up into the corner of the pitch again. The right-hand side as Forest look. Here's Middleton. Concedes the throw-in though to Forest. And Ollerton regain possession. We've played 3 minutes of this first half. Still Forest 0, Ollerton 0. As Ollerton have another throw-in on this near-hand side there left. Which is going to be a longer throw-in down the line. This is the FA Women's Nottinghamshire FA Women's County Cup final. Is that long free kick is towards the edge of the Forest box, headed up in the air well by Hewitt and then collected by Barnes, who plays it into the penalty area over to Bell on the right hand side of the Forest box. The cross comes in, it's up in the air well, headed away by Harkin, only as far as the edge of the penalty area though. Ollerton look to come again, it runs loose and Harkin gets it clear as far as Walters, who knocks it past one and then only just about keeps it in. Play does continue as Middleton controls on halfway, plays it forward looking for Higginbotham, but that's been intercepted. And Ollerton will have it at their centre-back again with Thornton. Thornton fakes the pass and then plays it forward to White, just inside the Forest half left-hand side. Entering the final third of the field, ball forward, headed away by Harkin. Ollerton play it back in towards the edge of the penalty area again, but there's nobody there and Walters can get it clear. And it's out for an Ollerton throw-in midway inside the Forest half on their left-hand side. Ollerton with the better of the opening 5 minutes Now here's Middleton for Forest in her own half though, not where she wants to be. Gets around one, manages to get it to Sullivan, plays it back to Middleton, who's got Constantinu on the far hand side, but Middleton can't find her with the pass. It's off target, and now here come Ollerton on the right hand side. That's with Howard. Howard on the right hand side tries to get past a couple of players, but Georgia Hewitt gets a foot in and knocks the ball out of play for nothing more than an Ollerton throw-in. Right hand side of the field, midway inside the Forest half. The throw-in's taken quickly and goes down the line. Hewitt pressuring, manages to get a foot to the ball and get it out for another throw-in to Ollerton on the right hand side. We've played 5 minutes here. It's still Forest 0, Ollerton 0. As Forest regain possession inside their own half. That long pass though from Shannon Weston is far too high and wide of Katie Middleton, and it's out for an Ollerton throw-in. Left hand side, just inside their own half. Thrown up and over the line. It's played back forward. Forest in possession. Ollerton win it back in their centre back though. Bennett plays it forward. They ask for the handball. Referee says nothing doing. 2 players come together. Free kick goes Ollerton's way as Middleton and Thornton collide. And Ollerton will have a free kick inside their own half. On this left hand side, this free kick. Long right-footed ball forward. It's looking for the lone attacker. Referee says play on, and now here comes Walters, and Forest have got players forward, and there's Constantinu in acres of space on the left-hand side if she can be found. Instead, Forest try and go down the right and don't find her. Then Weston plays one forward. It's bobbling up high into the air. Here's Higginbotham, and Higginbotham needs to get this control under her feet. 30 yards from goal. She gets past 2. Still got Middleton on the left-hand side. Goes alone. Advantage was played. Forest continue. Here's Hewitt. Hewitt down towards Sullivan, tries to get it to Constantinu, and Forest win the throw-in about 5 yards from the byline on the far hand side. Best passage of play so far from Forest, and it comes 6.5 minutes in. And they win the throw-in about 10 yards from the corner flag on the left hand side. In fact, a new ball is required as it goes up and over the fence. Very good evening to all of you listening on YouTube this evening to this Women's County Cup final. Still Forest 0, Ollerton Town 0, 7 minutes played. Forest with the throw-in on the left-hand side. Thrown in into the penalty area. Nobody's there in a gold shirt to get anything onto it, and then it eventually goes out for a goal kick after originally it was headed up into the air by Howard and it couldn't quite fall properly for Sullivan. So Ollerton will have another goal kick. Forest with the wind with them in this first half. Appleby to take the goal kick with her bright orange boots. It's a short free kick that doesn't reach halfway, but Ollerton have possession, and it's a long ball up and over the top that's sat in the wind, and Harkin gets ahead to it and clears it towards the edge of the centre circle. Now here's Walters for Forest. Coming up towards halfway, does really well to get past one and comes up and over halfway now on the right hand side. Ball forward down the line is looking for Middleton, but it's been intercepted, and Forest are forced to just pressurise again and just check their stride and their positioning. Comes back into the Forest penalty area after a long clearance. Harkin does well to find Hallam though. No concerns there. Reek gives it to Hewitt. Ball forward looking for Helena Constantinu, and Helena Constantinu's got pace for one but not to get past the second one, and it's cleared and is out of play for a throw into Forest on halfway on the far hand side of the field, their left. As Hewitt goes back to collect. 8.5 minutes gone, still 0-0 in this County Cup final. Hewitt ball down the line, is chested down by Weston and then cleared looking towards Middleton, who does really well to turn away from one, but it's then headed away from her on the edge of the penalty area. Bennett gets in strongly and Middleton has recovered the ball again. She's got Walters on her right hand side, goes back to Bennett. Bennett eyes up Constantinu on the left hand side, but instead goes to Walters on the right. Opportunity for Forest to get a cross in here, and is in, and it's been fumbled, and it's only just past the post. And Forest will have their first corner of the game, and it came out of virtually nothing. And it almost snuck in at the far post as the cross came in from the left hand side, and the keeper Appleby couldn't do anything about it. And Forest will have their first corner. Constantinu will take it, right-footed. It's going to swing into the penalty area. Plenty in a gold shirt in the box for Forest. Delivered in. It's towards the centre of the 6-yard box. It's cleared away, but only as far as the edge of the penalty area, where Constantinu collects it in again, and then 3 Forest players are in the centre of the field. And in fact, it was the offside flag was up against Walters on the edge of the penalty area. It was a good save from Appleby down low away to a left to divert it behind for a corner. But considering the offside flag was up, it wouldn't have counted anyway had it gone in. And with 10 minutes gone in this County Cup final, it's still 0-0. Ollerton Town free kick inside their own area. Free kick taken up over towards this near hand side. It's been flicked on by Hamilton. It's bobbling up in the air. Forest regain possession. Here's Sullivan. Middleton goes outside. Sullivan finds her. Goes into the right corner of the field. And in fact, it's an Ollerton throw-in. As Forest come more and more into this game, the longer it goes on. Throw-in is to Ollerton. They take it short and swing a right boot at it up towards halfway, where Weston gets ahead to it, as does Bennett on the second bounce. It's cleared high up into the air again, where Harkin controls. Walters on her outside, who instead finds Middleton, who's also on that right-hand side. Middleton tries to flick it on towards Walters. Arms go up from both sets of players, and the referee signals that the throw-in should go Forest's way. 11.5 minutes gone in this first half. Thrown in to the penalty area. It's loose inside the penalty area as well, and this Weston takes a swing at it. It's just nicked away from her at the last moment and cleared to halfway where Hewitt collects. Hewitt to Constantinu. Constantinu lets the ball come to her though, and it's taken away from her and out for a Forest throw on the left-hand side as they look at it. Hewitt with the throw in about 15 yards inside the Forest half. It goes short to Constantinu, who just rolls away from one and then tries to play it in field. Doesn't manage to do so, but it falls to Bennett, who gives it to Hewitt. Hewitt then finds Higginbotham. Higginbotham turns really well away from one and is towards the edge of the penalty area. Inside the penalty area is Higginbotham. She tries to thread it through and it's just too heavy, the contact. And Appleby comes out and gathers the loose ball. Great individual play there from Amy Higginbotham to almost give the away side here this evening the lead. As the ball runs out for a Forest throw-in inside their own half on the left-hand side. It's thrown up and over halfway. Hewitt with it for Forest after a little bit of messy possession changes inside the centre of the field. Here come Ollerton Town once more, but it's been intercepted by Weston, who finds Walters. Back to Weston once more. Still inside the Forest half though. Does really well to turn away from one and gives it to Harkin. Harkin on a right foot goes square to Hewitt. Forest still inside their own half. Ball forward towards Constantinu. She doesn't control it as cleanly as she would have liked, but she does still have possession and goes past one midway inside the Ollerton Town half now. She finds Middleton towards the right hand side of the penalty area. Middleton cuts inside onto her left foot. She's at the outside of the D. She's been forced away from goal though and goes back to Bennett. Bennett then finds Walters on the right hand side if Walters can keep it in, which she can. Cross comes in, it's short and it's to Sullivan. Sullivan back to Middleton, corner of the penalty area. Middleton goes on to her right and gives it back to Walters, right hand side. Opportunity for a cross again. Back to Middleton, about 25 yards out from goal. She cuts on to her left and then the free kick is conceded and Harkin immediately runs up, looks to take it quickly, but the referee stops playing. In fact, Harkin does take it quickly and it's chipped towards the back post. And that was the wrong decision, as Appleby always had that one covered. 14 minutes gone in this first half, still 0-0 between Forest Ladies and Ollerton Town Ladies in the Women's County Cup final. As Hewitt loses out on halfway. Ollerton with Bell forced backwards and O'Sullivan's going to chase that one, and Ollerton are forced into a bit of a mess and Middleton's able to let it run out on the right hand side. Throw-in taken quickly and it's to Sullivan, who takes a quick left-footed shot, but it's always curling wide of the left-hand post. We have played 14.5 minutes. It's still 0-0 between Ollerton Town and Nottingham Forest. Goal kick is taken by Appleby and it's flicked on again by White. Forest, though, still inside the Ollerton half. They need something to show for their efforts here early in this first half, as Bennett controls and loses possession. Now here's Higginbotham. Higginbotham with a chance to run at the defence. She's cut inside one towards the edge of the penalty area. Takes the shot, but it's straight at Appleby. And it's an easy save for the Ollerton Town goalkeeper in the end. As the light begins to fade here just outside Nottingham. Kick out the hands is not a long one, and Bennett is able to flick it on towards Sullivan, who takes a swing at it from 30 yards, and that ends up closer to the corner flag than the post, and it remains 0-0. Plenty of support here for both fans on this Friday evening. People finishing their week at work with some cup final action. Goal kick taken by Appleby on the left hand side of her 6-yard box, and it's been hoofed out of play for a Forest throw in just inside their own half on this near hand side, the right. Long, really long throw down the line from Walters that time, looking for Middleton. It's been taken away from her, but then the Forest players have won a throw-in at the same time, which is taken quickly and possession is lost, but Bennett wins it back for Forest midway inside the Ollerton half. Here's Walters. Walters just about manages to keep it in on the right-hand side. It's cleared away though, looking for the attacking prowess of Howard for Ollerton. Harkin gets it away from her though. Ball forward from Ollerton once again. And it's cleared by Forest back into the Ollerton half, where Appleby collects at the edge of her penalty area. We're up to 17 minutes gone as Appleby clears up to halfway, where it's controlled by Walters, and then Bennett collects at the second attempt. Now here's Middleton. Middleton plays it off and in fact wins the free kick, although she had managed to get the ball to Isabel Sullivan. I doubt Forest are going to take this one quickly after what happened last time. This is about maybe just over 30 yards from goal, so a bit far out for a shot. We've played 17 minutes here at Eastwood, and the referee is stopping the wall a few yards outside the penalty area, so I'd say it was about 30 yards, just right of centre. And we've got Harkin and Sullivan looking to play this one, and it's Sullivan who takes the shot, and it's well over the bar, and in fact over the stand at the top. Over the top of the stand behind the goal, away to my right. So we'll need another new ball. The third of the evening. Still 0-0. Coming up to 18 minutes played. This is Nottingham Forest against Ollerton Town in the Nottinghamshire FA Women's County Cup final. Forest beat Notts County and Clifton to get to this point, whilst Ollerton beat Mansfield Hosiery, Notts County Development and Rice Park in the semi-finals. Long ball down the line from Ollerton is straight out of play again, and they've won another throw-in, this time inside the Forest half on this left-hand side as a few substitutes go to warm up. And it's another Ollerton throw-in on this left-hand side. Throw-in is wasted though, as it runs to the edge of the Forest penalty area, and Hallam collects and then bowls it over arm out to Harkin, only just outside the penalty area though. She dinks a cheeky little one to Walters on the right hand side, who goes up towards halfway. Long ball forward, looking for Middleton to run on to the end of this one. It's an ambitious one for Middleton to get to. In fact, she gave up by the time she got to the edge of the penalty area, knowing that she wasn't going to get there. And it is just another goal kick for Ollerton Town. which is a very short goal kick, and it's reached the midway point of the Ollerton Town half, and Sullivan has claimed it for Forest. Her pass forward takes a deflection and loops up into the air. Now here's Weston. Weston gives it to Walters on the right hand side. Opportunity for a cross here from Walters. Instead she goes back to Harkin near halfway after a turn. Harkin tries to play a ball through the centre of the field towards Middleton, but the Ollerton Town defender too strong in the challenge and wins possession back. But then they concede the throw-in, and Forest have the throw-in on the right-hand side, which Walters will take. It's a long throw-in down the line looking for Middleton. It's been headed in field. Sullivan can't get there at the second attempt at controlling the ball. Walters heads it forward after a clearance from Ollerton, and it's an Ollerton throw-in after it went out of play. They take it quickly and knock it forward, which Harkin's equal to, and Bennett flicks it on for Forest. She gets it back after the wayward Ollerton pass. Through ball looking for Walters. Walters is strong in the challenge and gets there. Manages to find Sullivan, and it's been played over onto the right hand side. It's too heavy for Middleton to get onto the end of, and it's another Ollerton Town goal kick. Nearing the midway point of this first half. The longer this game goes on, the more Forest are getting into it and looking threatening, but that final pass is just not there at the moment for the Reds to open the scoring. Appleby plays it again short from the goal kick, and Middleton's got onto the end of this one on the right hand side towards the edge of the penalty area and gets stuck with two Ollerton Town defenders for company, and she loses out and concedes the throw in at the same time. Throw-in goes down the line and flicks off an Ollerton head for a Forest throw-in. Just inside their own half, right-hand side. 21.5 minutes played. Long one down the line from Walters looking for Middleton. Forest players claiming a corner. The referee says otherwise and points to the edge of Appleby's 6-yard box for another Ollerton goal kick. Who really are being pegged back in these last 5 minutes or so. They're really struggling to get out of their half for any period of time, as that goal kick goes out of play. Off a Forest boot though it's been deemed. Ollerton throw-in, which they take short. Still in their defensive back line. It's forward into the Forest half, but Weston immediately heads it back into the Ollerton half, albeit out of play at the same time. And Ollerton throw it backwards to their left back on this near hand side. Entering the Forest half, the pass is cut out by Walters. Bennett gets a foot in there to win possession for Forest. Here's Harkin. Harkin plays a square ball over Hewitt, who's really got to sprint to keep that in at the far side. Forward to Constantinu, who lets the ball run to her and loses possession. And here's an opportunity for Ollerton with Bell. Bell over the opportunity to get a cross in, and it's been cut out at the near post by Harkin. Applause from the fans for that one. You feel the majority of them, or the ones making the noise anyway, are here supporting Ollerton Town this evening. 23 minutes played. Ollerton's first corner of the evening. It's going to be right-footed out swinging. There are 6 white shirts in the penalty area, and the corner goes straight out of play and onto the roof of the net. Forest goal kick. Didn't get the angle right on that one, and it runs straight out of play, hits the top of the Forest net, and Emily Hallam will be able to just clear this one for her, one of her first goal kicks of the evening. The right corner of her 6-yard box clears it, right-footed, wind assisted, and it finds Sullivan just inside the Forest half. Goes back to Harkin. Harkin goes to Hewitt. Hewitt to Constantinu just inside the Ollerton half on the left-hand side. It's cleared out for a throw-in. Forest then midway inside the Ollerton half. Throw in to be taken by Hewitt. Flicks it forward from Weston and cleared away. Hewitt gets it back though, midway inside the Ollerton half on the left hand side. Corner of the Ollerton penalty area. They get it clear, but only as far as Weston, still inside the Ollerton half. Long right-footed through ball, which is controlled by Middleton, but it wasn't particularly good control. And she's been muscled off the ball and shepherded out. And it will be another Ollerton goal kick. 25 minutes gone. Still, it remains 0-0, though Forest the more likely side to get a goal at the moment. As it's been played forward again, Middleton again waits for it to come to her and loses possession as a consequence, and Ollerton clear it all the way down the field. Harkin's got to be clever as she deals with this one under all sorts of pressure. Gets it clear away from Walters. Walters forward. Forest free kick inside their own half. 25 and a half gone as Weston is brought down. Still the rain holding away that we were supposed to get around this time. It's away for the moment. Free kick is taken square to Hewitt, who's got a lot of space on that left hand side, and she finds Constantinu, who's in just as much space, has an opportunity to run 25 yards out from goal, manages to give it to West, who takes the shot, blocked on the edge of the penalty area, falls to Walters 30 yards out from goal. She's been forced to the right hand side, finds Middleton, opportunity to get a ball into the middle. Forest win the throw-in inside the final third, and the throw-in is taken down the line and immediately intercepted. Forest win it back though with Higginbotham, and it's taken away from them again. Now here's Barnes for Ollerton. Only finds Bennett in a gold shirt, and Forest have it back. Here's Hewitt, midway inside the Ollerton half, over to Constantinu, far hand side. Couple of step overs from Constantinu, plays it back to Hewitt. Hewitt's touch is heavy, finds Constantinu. Constantinu still going edge of the penalty area, gets away from two, and then has it muscled away from her, and Ollerton can come with an opportunity for a break, but all their players are just walking out of their own penalty area. It seems as though they're just playing defensive here at the moment. Ball forward, headed away by Hewitt, falls to Constantinu, who's got two for company. Down the line the pass goes. She was looking for Sullivan, but Sullivan didn't make the run. It was a blind pass from Constantinu, who now battles well and wins it back. Here's Hewitt. Hewitt to Bennett. Bennett to Reek. Reek plays it forward up and over halfway. The pass from Ollerton after Reek's pass was intercepted, though, is won back by Bennett, who's won a lot of balls in the centre of the field so far for Forest. We've played 27 and a half minutes, so coming up to a quarter of an hour to go in this first half. The floodlights are on here at Eastwood. Cup final football underneath the floodlights here on a Friday evening. It's an Ollerton Town throw-in just inside their own half on the right-hand side. Played in-field towards White on halfway, who gets away from Weston well. Tries to play a pass forward, which is blocked, though, by Bennett. And although Bennett tries to keep it in, the assistant referee on that far side flags for a throw-in. And then there's a bit of a delay as Ollerton thought it was a free kick, but a throw-in is the call, and they take it down the line. It runs out of play for another Ollerton throw-in about midway inside the Forest half on the right-hand side. Thrown in towards 25 yards from goal to Howard. Howard 25 yards out, right foot towards the corner of the penalty area. Forest players just muscle it off her, and then Harkin clears it out of play. Not the best clearance that Harkin has ever done, as Ollerton have the throw-in. It's about 12 yards from goal. It's certainly still in the Forest final third. As it's taken in-field, cross comes in and is well caught by Emily Hallam at her near post. Her first real involvement in the game this evening. She bounces it a couple of times on the way to the edge of the penalty area and then clears it right-footed up towards Amy Higginbotham, who controls it well on halfway. Over onto the left-hand side, gives it to Bennett. Bennett on the centre circle. Gives it back to Higginbotham inside the Ollerton half. Really nice turn from Higginbotham to get away from one and gives it to Sullivan. Sullivan finds Hewitt in acres of space on the left-hand side. Ollerton playing very narrow at the moment. Infield to Constantinu, 25 yards from goal. Gives it back to Hewitt, corner of the penalty area. Back to Constantinu, 25 yards out, left-hand side. She takes on one, opportunity for a cross. She gets it in towards the middle, but it's been cleared away on the penalty spot. And Ollerton get a strong boot to it and clear it midway inside their own half. It only falls as far as Weston though, who finds Hewitt once more, gets a cross in, but there's nobody in a gold shirt in the penalty area. Only clear again as far as halfway. Now here's Sullivan, 25 yards out. Opportunity on the left-hand side. Sullivan turns away, tries to play Weston in, but it's intercepted. The clearance though only finds Bennett midway inside the half, and Bennett takes a very ambitious shot and hits the crossbar from about 55 yards. And with half an hour gone, doing it, it's to Sullivan. Sullivan takes the shot and it's wide. And apologies for the loss of the stream there. It's not the greatest internet here at Eastwood. We've got 12 minutes to go of the first half and it is still 0-0, no goals as of yet. Here's Higginbotham for Forest inside the Ollerton Town half. It's the home side here though that have possession. They lose out though to Walters, who finds Middleton. Middleton towards the edge of the penalty area. Inside the penalty area Middleton goes. She takes the shot and it just runs out for another goal kick. So as I said, apologies for those of you who lost the stream. We had some internet problems, but you haven't missed any goals. It is still 0-0. We have 11.5 minutes to go of this first half. Here's Constantinu on the left hand side, midway inside the Ollerton half. Finds Sullivan, back to Constantinu, still on that left hand side and still midway inside. Forest not making any progress at the moment. Goes back to Harkin, first time ball over to Hewitt, corner of the penalty area. Great ball from Harkin that, and Hewitt takes the shot. Nobody's there though. It's a very wayward shot. It goes to the edge of the penalty area and Ollerton forced all the way wide on the right hand side. They win the throw in though. Play still on this right hand side. Throw in is taken short up towards halfway. Howard with it for Ollerton. The ball goes up high into the air. Middleton's looking to get under it. Corner of the Ollerton penalty area on the right hand side. Played infield towards Higginbotham. Higginbotham just skips away from two but is forced right, and on the entry to the penalty area it's taken away from her and cleared. Forest throw in midway inside the Ollerton half on the right hand side. Which is a long throw from Walters looking for Weston in the centre of the Ollerton half, but it's been taken away from her as she waited to get to the ball. Harkin delivers it forward. Now here's Stretton for Ollerton. They win the free kick just on the edge of the centre circle and halfway on their left-hand side. Still 0-0 with just under 10 minutes to go of normal time at the end of this first half. Do have a fourth official for this County Cup final, so hopefully I should be able to give you added time as well rather than guessing as I normally have to do for Forest home games. Goal kick for Forest after a pass forward from Ollerton had far too much on it. A good evening to Torpedo _SNM and the Kent T-Neck. You're listening on YouTube. Get involved on the live chat. Let us know who you're supporting here for this County Cup final. 9 minutes of normal time to go at the end of this first half. Still Ollerton Town 0, Nottingham Forest 0. As here's Sullivan for Forest. She finds Bennett. Bennett to Weston on this left-hand side. Weston does well to find Bennett again, who looks for Constantinu over on the far-hand side. The pass just doesn't quite have enough on it, though. Constantinu wins it back, though, from Howard at the second attempt. Still with Constantinu on halfway. She gets past one. Tries to go past a second by playing it infield and manages to do so. Now here's Hewitt. Hewitt the cross in, but again, no one in a gold shirt is anywhere near that penalty area. And it's up in the centre of the field from Bennett. And the free kick goes Ollerton's way after Bennett's judged to have brought the midfielder down. My apologies for not being quite as accurate with Ollerton as I am with Forest, but we don't actually have an Ollerton team sheet for tonight. We wasn't given one. We don't have one for the announcements either. I have numbers and surnames, and that is it. So I don't know any first names from Ollerton, but here they are inside the Forest penalty area on the left-hand side after a mistake from Harkin. Higginbotham does well to cover and clear up the mess. Now here's Sullivan. Sullivan gets muscled out by two, but wins the throw-in. A shout out to Linda Shelton, who is poorly. Oh, sorry to hear that. Bet you wish you were here, but enjoying the commentary at home. Forest, the better of the two sides so far in this first half, but have nothing to show for it. But they have the throw-in now, level with the edge of the Ollerton Town penalty area on this near-hand side, the Forest right. We have just 7 minutes of normal time to go at the end of this first half. Players crowding in the penalty area now for a Walters long throw. That's what they are all expecting. And it goes in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It's flicked on a couple of times and a right boot gets it away only as far as Bennett towards the edge of the D, but she can't control it cleanly. And Ollerton have an opportunity to come away, but Harkin cuts out the loose ball just inside the Ollerton half right-hand side. Still Ollerton looking to get out of their own half. Here's Harkin. Harkin gives it to Middleton, edge of the area. She turns and shoots, but it's blocked at source. And Hewitt on halfway clears up for Forest, gives it to Weston and gets it back. Constantinu over on that left-hand side. A couple of step overs and then cuts onto her left, turns away from one. Can't make any forward progress, goes back to Hewitt. Hewitt diagonal ball looking for Sullivan. It manages to find Weston in the end. Cleared away again, up towards halfway. Harkin. Harkin tries to find Walters on the right-hand side, and Walters does manage to get to that ball and keep it in. On the right-hand side, level with the edge of the Ollerton penalty area. Trying to cut inside. Here's Middleton. Weston tries to find Middleton back again, but it's just been cut out, and we have 6 minutes of normal time to go at the end of this first half. Still Ollerton 0, Forest 0, but Forest pressing as much as they can. Here's Harkin. Harkin loses out though under the challenge, and Ollerton have the ball back. Harkin then recovers and clears it out for a throw-in on the right-hand side as Forest look at it, but it's an Ollerton throw-in on halfway. 5.5 minutes to go until half-time plus added. Now here's Howard for Ollerton. Ball forward is completely missed by everybody, and Howard runs all the way out of a goal. That was risky to get onto the end of that one, but now she did get there and cleared it all the way down the field, which Middleton is battling for and just gets muscled off in the end as here comes the rain. Spots of rain appear on my window here outside my commentary position, and the hoods start to go up for the crowd all the way around the pitch here at Eastwood. It's 20 past 8, so the weather forecast was pretty accurate with 5 minutes to go until half time. It's the Forest free kick on halfway. It's taken short. Here's Harkin to Hewitt on the left-hand side as fans make for the cover of the stands behind one of the goals. That's an ambitious through ball for Helena Constantinu to get onto the end of, but the clearance is poor and it's been crossed in towards the penalty area, cut out at the near post, still inside the penalty area. Good shot as it's bundled. Is it on over the line? I don't know if it's over the line or not. It's been cleared away. The referee says that it is out for a goal kick, and it was underneath Appleby, the Ollerton goalkeeper, and then Ollerton players were scrambling for it on the line, and it got cleared off the line. It's out for a goal kick. Really good opportunity for Forest with 4 minutes to go until half time. Here's Sullivan for the Reds in their gold shirts, black shorts and gold socks this evening as drawn as the away side. Ollerton in white shirts, red shorts and red socks. 3.5 minutes to go plus added time as the fans start to make their way inside to get a refreshing drink at half time, or maybe just some cover from this rain. Can't quite tell how badly it is coming down. Doesn't look to be too bad as the ball goes high up into the air, and it's over the head of Weston and her marker. Now here come Ollerton again, opportunity on the sprint. Harkin's going to win the race to get to that one though, but Hallam even gets there ahead of Harkin and clears it up and into the stands here, and we will need another new ball. And I've had to just turn the light off here in my room. All I'm getting now is a reflection of my equipment and my own face. So turn the light off and we've got a clear view of the football again. And here's Weston. Floodlights doing a great job of illuminating the pitch here at Eastwood. Here's Sullivan. Sullivan looking for a long ball for Constantinu. She's let it bounce, but she's going to get the run. Hewitt coming to support on the overlap. Constantinu doesn't need her and goes past the marker towards the edge of the penalty area. Constantinu strong in the challenge on the edge of the area. Still gets past two. Still Constantinu. Still Constantinu inside the area. She's gone past three and eventually it's taken off her just before she pulls the trigger. And Ollerton can come away with it. We have just over 2 minutes of normal time to go at the end of this first half. Inside the centre circle is Howard. Howard over onto the left hand side, but it runs out of play and it's the Forest throw in, which Walters throws infield to Bennett, gets the ball back, has to be quick with it as she's got a player running back towards her. Middleton can't get onto the end of that before it's taken away from her. And Forest have the throw in, which they take quickly. We have just 1.5 minutes of normal time to go. You'll have to bear with me briefly when we get to the half time at the end of the 45 minutes until I announce the time added on. As the free kick goes Ollerton's way, we have 1 minute of normal time to go at the end of the first half. Still Ollerton Town 0, Nottingham Forest 0 in the women's Nottinghamshire County Cup final. In fact, the rain's getting heavier now and many more fans are making their way inside for the shelter of the bar. As we wait for Ollerton to take the free kick, it goes towards the edge of the Forest penalty area and it comes off the head of White and out for a goal kick, which will take.